Get ready to dive into the fascinating history of the Beatles' legendary White Album. Today, we are going to explore behind the scenes of the recordings, discover the context that surrounded this creation, and reveal the little stories and anecdotes that are hidden behind 3 songs of this essential opus. The White Album, also called The Beatles, is a double album released on November 22, 1968, containing 30 songs. The recording sessions took place from May 30 to October 14 at Abbey Road and Trident Studios in London and are known to have been very tense and bitter, to the point that the sound engineer, Geoff Emerick, slammed the door in full middle of the sessions. Away from all that tension, Ringo Starr plays his best. He is the only one not showing any desire to pull the cover to himself. Tired of these tensions, he also ended up deserting Abbey Road and going on vacation for a while in Sardinia. Meanwhile, the Beatles continued to record, and Paul McCartney played drums on Back in the USSR and Dear Prudence. Ringo eventually returns to find his drums covered in flowers in the Abbey Road studio. He would also be the only one to remain on good terms with the other 3 during the separation, and he would have them all participate separately in his album Ringo in 1973. Now let's look at the visual aspect of this album. The dropout sleeve is entirely white, marking a contrast to their previous album. Equally simple is the title, The Beatles. The cover contains a poster, the lyrics of the songs, and the portraits of the 4 Beatles. It was designed by Paul McCartney and the painter Richard Hamilton. Each cover of the initial series will be stamped with a different number, but this will not be repeated for subsequent releases of the album in CD version. Numbers 1, 2, 3 and 4 were given to the 4 Beatles members themselves. Now, let's discuss some stories and meanings behind 3 songs from this album. Martha My Dear is the 9th track. The song's title might seem like a cryptic riddle, but the story behind it is funny. Picture this: Paul McCartney seated at a piano just 3 days before the recording session at London's iconic Trident Studios. Little did he know that his faithful companion, Martha the bobtail dog, would become the muse behind this captivating tune. Yes, you heard right. Paul named the song after his beloved 4-legged friend. But hold on, there's more to it. As the lyrics unfold, we discover that they touch upon both Paul's personal romantic experiences and an intriguing extramarital affair of a family member. Now, let's dive into the recording process of Martha My Dear. Picture a studio bustling with creativity while Paul McCartney takes the lead. As the other 3 Beatles members step aside, 14 talented musicians join forces with Paul to bring this piece to life. The clock strikes 9 p.m. and the magic begins. Hours turn into a captivating night as the recording session continues until 4:30 a.m. A single take is captured, only to be further refined using the innovative re-recording technique. Paul McCartney's multi-talented prowess shines brightly in this song. Not only does he provide the soulful vocals, but he also graces us with his piano skills, rhythmic drums, and even adds hand claps to enhance the sonic tapestry. The following day, Paul himself lays down mesmerizing guitar and bass parts. I don't know what you think about it, but I found the idea behind Martha My Dear quite amusing, and I was impressed by the spontaneity of Paul, who conjured up a song in just 3 days. I think it's a testament to the beauty of creativity and the power of a simple, heartfelt melody. Don't Pass Me By is the 14th track. But what makes this song truly special? Well, it marks the first time Ringo Starr takes the reins as a composer within the iconic band. For years, Ringo had been yearning to see Don't Pass Me By make its way into a Beatles record. However, he faced a unique challenge. With the likes of Lennon and McCartney dominating the songwriting scene, finding a space for his own compositions proved quite the task. As he humorously recounts, it had become a kind of joke. I brought the songs I had written and they were all rolling on the floor laughing because once again I had rewritten an old standard. But during a radio interview in New Zealand on their 1964 tour, Ringo seized the opportunity to showcase his creation. He urged his bandmates to join him in singing Don't Pass Me By. At this moment, Paul talked about Ringo's talent and introduced the song, describing it as having a very nice melody and highlighting its significance as Ringo's first ever composition. However, despite the delightful moment, Don't Pass Me By remained tucked away, unheard by the world for another 5 years. But the time would come when Ringo's heartfelt creation would take its rightful place among the Beatles' discography. Fast forward to June 5, 1968, the day when the recording of Don't Pass Me By finally commenced. As the studio doors opened, it was Ringo and Paul who stood ready to bring the song to life. The chemistry between the two Beatles shone brightly as they laid down the bass track in 3 takes. Paul was at the piano, while Ringo added drums, of course. Then they added a second piano and sleigh bells. Ringo's voice has found its place with 2 vocals. Finally, on July 12, Paul contributed his bass genius and Ringo added the final touches with piano. I think that Don't Pass Me By reveals a hidden side of Ringo, showcasing his style and tastes. Even the most discreet member left an indelible mark on the timeless legacy of their music. While My Guitar Gently Weeps is the 7th track, written by George Harrison. In his parents' house, Harrison decides to write a song based on the first 2 words he would read when opening a book at random. The first thing he sees is Gently Weeps. He therefore builds his song around these 2 words. In 2003, it was ranked 135th by Rolling Stone magazine among the 500 greatest songs of all time. The studio work on this song spans a long time. The first recording session took place on July 25, 1968, with an early solo take by George Harrison on acoustic guitar and organ. The full group tackles it on August 16, then again on September 5. They burn 44 takes and choose to keep the 25th. George, rather disappointed with the result, asked Eric Clapton to play guitar there the next day. He records the solo with his Gibson Les Paul, while Paul McCartney adds an intro on the piano. In a period of extreme tension, the presence of Eric Clapton does a lot of good to the group, which begins to play with much more heart and cohesion. New vocals, backing vocals, fuzz bass, percussion and organ are then recorded. Clapton's participation in this recording was long denied as he was under contract to another record company and was not officially admitted until the 1980s, although scholars immediately recognized his style and vibrato with the left hand. Personally, I am utterly captivated by this song. The fact that 2 random words inspired George Harrison is mind-boggling. And of course, let's not forget the remarkable impact of Eric Clapton's virtuosity, which undoubtedly played a significant role in propelling this song into Rolling Stone magazine's prestigious rankings. Feel free to share your opinion on the White Album and tell me what your favorite Beatles songs are. If you have ideas for future videos, let me know. It was Atori, thanks for watching and see you soon!